Okay, so in the script it says Sideways the squad joined them, but that does not happen. Sideways doesn't join them because that wouldn't make Lenderman do it. Okay, note, we're still going, but note that the Sideways scene when he's introduced is a ship. They're on the bridge. There's no transition, but that's where they are. They're on the bridge. These guys are still out there, and they're on the bridge. I'm trying to find more of these guys, and when I do, we'll shoot some of more of their scenes. Okay. Yeah, we got Sure Shot, Spoil Sport. Okay, so what's I read a little bit ahead. I just stopped for the evening, but I read a little bit ahead in the script in the other book to see where Sure Shot and Spoil Sport actually are, and like the two other characters of Grotusk and Tunkor, who just disappears from it. In the other story, in one other guy too, there was a Sky Stance guy that's going to come up. Yeah, some of these guys just disappear right at the end of the scene. Spoil Sport is mentioned offhandedly after this point once or twice, and the banter continues with Sure Shot and Spoil Sport was originally a Target Master gun of Sure Shot, and that's Hot Shot, but he's playing Sure Shot, and here he's an actual visualized full-on Transformer. Yeah, so I think in terms of keeping the continuity of those characters sort of as bickering like half brothers that kind of sound alike, that's funny, and we'll keep that, but we will just include him here and then quipping when Miss Firetank is in the room. So that'll. So he'll get some of her lines, in other words. But in terms of the base thing and them getting shot down, they're going to get shot down, the Autobots are. And they're going to get landed on the station and stay there for a while. So they're all going to end up on the station with the other two ships flying around it. Anyway, so let's establish that in this scene, the Decepticon's going to let them go because he doesn't actually capture them. He briefly thinks about it, but so there has to be some reason he lets them go, so we can establish the end of this scene and stuff. Maybe he simply doesn't want them. He's like, yeah, you got bigger prey to fight, and yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, they just go back to the ship because yeah, they're the scouting party. Yeah. And Vice here has more lines than he does in the actual story. He's got more. He's now the main bad guy. This version. So he's the bad guy. He's sort of Spanish, like in Castilian Spanish. Also, there was a line where she says, instead of no problem, no hay problema, which is the proper way to say. Never say no problemo. Say no hay problema. Because it's a feminine verb to describe no problem, you see, in Spanish. Yes. So, anyway, so yeah, let's finish this off. So Vice tells him something, and that's relevant to the scene, of course. We're not changing anything. We're just getting them out of the room because there's no transition, basically. Then we cut to another scene that's in another place where we meet up once again with Ex-Lawbus and Pounce and Wingspan. So we'll see what they're up to. And that's in the script. So let's finish this. Okay, that was a little bit here on the 18th. This is a very short. Okay, that was a little bit here on the 18th. Very short little thing with Sure Shot and Spoil Sport. And the female Transformers. And one Beast Wars 1 and one Predacon, or Maximal, I guess. One Maximal and one Night Racer. As scouts on the ship, basically they encounter a Decepticon who lets them go and return to the ship because they basically don't do much more in the episode. So we've got basically Sure Shot teaming up with Bird Girl, but yeah, Night Racer sort of in the background. But Spoilsport is not in it so much, so we're going to include Spoilsport in it whenever possible. But we're not adding lines, we're taking lines from one of the characters who's only in the episode briefly, like we did last time with Tug Tank / Bulkhead, where we gave a bunch of lines that were just throwaway lines from other people to him and made him the helmsman. So that's kind of what that'll happen. So yeah. Anyway, that's yeah. And it worked. It worked. You don't need to have 50 other throwaway characters just to say, "Oh look, there's Point Blank over there," or "Oh look, there's Bumblebee over there," or whatever. It doesn't need to have that. If that character doesn't need to be in the story, and it doesn't forward anything being in the story, he's not there. And also including Vice again. How does that explain how he didn't get fried? Well, he didn't, because if you look at the episode, he said he was going to be fried extra crispy, but then we don't know what part of the city he was in when that happened, or if he was one of the people that escaped. He wasn't one of the people on the shuttle though. It was before the shuttle. It was like days earlier. So yeah, he escaped. Presumably left the battle at some point. They weren't just in one city, the battle in the movie. They were in 3 cities. They were in a city that started out as a sort of a tech place where there was a sensor thing, and the 2 guys were plotting stuff, and there was a battle there. Then there was a battle at the manufacturing plant city, which was another city, where they were at that one, and the capital city was the ending part, what they discovered, where some of the battle took place, but some of the other stuff near the manufacturing district also took place. Presumably, at some point, Vice escaped the manufacturing plant and took off, did whatever. So yeah, the other 4 that escaped were Counterpunch and Pounce, Wingspan, and Counterpunch is also Punch. He's a double spy, and same guy, and X-Lawbus. They were all on that shuttle. Vice may have not been on the shuttle. He may have been elsewhere. So yeah, I guess he was on the station. So, they did say they destroyed it, but it was a false positive. They didn't destroy it. The station had escaped into space, and they found it later on. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the Outer Rim is the ship. In the script, it's the Outer Rim of the Galaxy, but that's silly. No, that's the name of the ship, because it's a big brown. It's a Taurus station looking thing, and you can see the station off and on floating around, background of the city in the story. So clearly, it's not gone. You can see the footage from episode 1. So yeah, that's it. For tonight. Stop that! Stop that! Oh wait. This kind of counts as a pickup scene from yesterday. It is. That's too much light in the Decepticon ship. Need that much. Okay, yeah, so we have, Decepticon pickup scene from last night of the Decepticon, basically because we didn't have the set built for that. The set is designed to flip around and become the Autobot bridge. So I don't know if we're going to get to that, but we are going to get to the Decepticon portions of this story. And then back to the Autobot bridge when it gets attacked. We're going to do Punch and Pounce and Counterpunch's lines up until after the bridge attack. So, so note in the script that the scouts. This is between the scout scene after the bird bot says something to the effect of, "Oh, well, on our last mission we did this and that," and then they're presumably still walking around, and that's before they went inside to find the dude in the center of the shot here. They haven't done that yet, so this is before that. This is them launching him out there to go and do that. But it is also a brief scene involving the ship. Instead of in the script him being Skystance, his name is Vice, and he's a Decepticon, and he's going to meet with Pounce and Wingspan, and her and send a courier to this. counterpunch, pounce, and that's pretty much it. There's really no dialogue here, but they do address the ship and its functions. Let's roll it. This is going to be a more Decepticon base footage. We're presuming they're on a ship near the station, but not actually on the station. Note that they're somewhere hidden, cloaked possibly. I don't even know if they have cloaking technology, but in this universe, I guess they do. So they're cloaked, or they're hiding, or they're on the station, and yeah, I think they're just on the station somewhere, like a hidden facility that's like shielded, and that through the whole thing, they're just there in the hidden facility. So here we have a scene, and yeah. Okay, ready. We're gonna have these two say the shot to each other. Gonna jibe back and forth, just make it look visually more interesting. So once that stops making a noise, we'll be able to shoot that. But what is that noise? Just for shits and giggles. That was page 72. And that was the page 72. Decepticons. We're going to cut to page 73, where Scythro and Skycrunch are in a room with the Viaconis. Yeah, which is out of the blue, and that scene could be edited out. Sit here and watch the ground pounders pack up. Our guard duty here continues until the base is completely closed up. So, okay, 72. Right. 78. Instead of Teravac, it's this guy and this guy. They're just interacting to stuff that's going on outside during the Autobot attack on the compound. Yeah, there's a ship, a compound. And hello again. So this is page 78, 76, and I crunch. I just received what sounded like part of an alert signal. The signal seems to have been cut off. Let's have him turn to do something other than that, so we get like a sense that something urgent just happened. So note when you get to page 78 that Viaconis, the combiner fighting Prime, hasn't been filmed yet. And if you decide to use somebody else as Viaconis, that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, that's not filmed yet. So yeah, going on. So far in this story, the other one was on a planet, and this is a ship. On the Star Trek writing team back in the day, you would have called this a. Yes, I was. Yeah. we were in the contest. They would call. There were two kinds of shows they would do. They would do the Planet Hell set, say at a planet set, or a bottle show. And the pilot here, referring to whether the show would be about a ship or a planet. A bottle show would be like it's a ship. So it'd be a ship in a bottle. Hence the joke that one episode TNG referenced that directly. Yeah, so planet set or planet story would be Planet Hell, which was their set that they built. So this is a bottle show episode because it takes place entirely on ships and stations and things. And in order to make that visually interesting, the characters have to be interacting in a way that pulls them in. So that's a little making of stuff for, I guess, this point right here, to establish what's happening in this one. About half an hour into the whole thing. Yeah. So they're on the Requiem bot, and they're gonna go over to the station. Two of them are, or three of them maybe. We'll see. I think it's just two though. This film shoot is so far Chimera levels of finishing. That last 23 pages of that last 23 minutes of Chimera. That was several weeks ago when the studio was going to be taken down. This is kind of like that because we've had like 2 full shooting days. Here we have. I'm going to finish up they're in trouble line, because I want to convey that already happened, because this is kind of an elaborate set and recreating it might be difficult. So I am going to do that. I'm going to have these two in command, because they are, and it's a very simple little scene where they're doing their thing. There's a lot of shot of the base. Want to recreate it. Yeah, because if we don't use this footage, it's not going to match. Even though there's sort of an unmatching wall at one point, but I don't think that's going to be a deal breaker. Come on. Turn around here. B-roll footage. Alright, here we are on the set. Another full day of filming. Because locked indoors and nothing else to do. The coronavirus stay indoors thing. We don't have it, but we give us the option to do the movie in the studio here, and we're going to break the set, put away the robots for the evening, because this was a whole day shoot, and we knocked out 25 minutes of footage from the episode. It's roughly 48 to 50 minutes long, so that's half of it. And we did 10 minutes the day before and the day before that. So basically we have 13 minutes, roughly 16 minutes left. That includes them trapped on the ship and the other things. Roughly 20 minutes, I guess. But yeah, they go inside this ship. I'm not sure. I have the Gestalt, but I don't think he's going to combine, because he's not really that great a Gestalt. So they're going to just gang up on them. I think that'd be more funny. I think by mini-cons. But yes, so this was Corrosion of War. This was episode 2, and it would make it a 90-minute movie at the end of episode 2. It would make it over 50 minutes each. It would be a little over 100 and some minutes. So yeah, but each episode deals with a different theme, and as I had said before, the Planet Hell type of story is one where it's on a planet, not as much on the ship, but more on the planet, and another story as the ship. If it's all on a ship or a station, it's a bottle show. It's called a bottle show. Yeah. That's in the case of science fiction, and probably mystery a little bit too. Yeah, it'd be like, okay, you have the outdoor setting where you have the woods or something, or you have day shoot setting. Yeah, sometimes you have day shoot, night shoot, and you have the settings. Sometimes you have day for night, that kind of thing. That's when they mess with the lens and make it look like it's dark. You can have a story where it's all filmed in a house. It's called like a creepy mansion or something, or a haunted house or something. That's called that, even if it's not a haunted house. The Disney mansion. That's when it's in a house. Yeah, the haunted mansion. That's it. Yeah, that's when you're filming in a house. Which the Jurassic World 2 took too literally and had it in a haunted house, which was weird. Why did they do that? Just like make it at least a big like cathedral like facility or something. It'd be cooler. Like a convention center would have been way cooler. Do something like that. But well, we did that. But no, yes. I know we didn't directly have permission from at least from Comic-Con. We couldn't do that for Comic-Con. The other one we had permission, so we were able to do that there. Fanime didn't. We asked him. So yes, that was not staged, but we did have permission at Fanime, but not Comic-Con, which is why you don't see as much with the Comic-Con footage. It looks like I have a mustache, but no, it's the light up there. There's no mustache. Anyway, so yeah, the bridge scene, Autobots bridge scene. Because Night Racer's in the scene, the scouts have returned, even though in the script it's a little before the scouts return. Well, because she's in this version, she's with them, which makes more sense. This is after they've returned. So, yeah. So I'm gonna tag a little leader on it to establish what's going on after they returned, and then cut to the actual dialogue. So yeah, the leader will consist of March 20th here. The leader will consist of them saying the scouts are ready and they've gone back into the. We sent Sure Shot down below decks to help out in engineering, basically, help out with weapons and stuff. And that's how they tracked the ship, because he had unknowingly had a tracer on him, and they don't know that. And that's how they were able to pinpoint the weak spots on the vessel. Otherwise, they couldn't have, which is related to the other scene. So all the Decepticon footage this will be in the second 10 minutes. Yeah. Okay, the A-roll camera is charging. The B-roll camera is just as good, only slightly different. Not really noticeable. I want to catch one more glimpse of the ship before we change to scene 68B as it ends, and then we jump ahead a little bit more in time. Even though, in terms of what they're doing, these scenes are like one after the other, and there's like I think there's a Decepticon pause scene in here. It's already shot, and yeah, so. And note that Night Racer and Quick Mix too, I think. No, he's coming too to keep the ship running. So, are they taking a drop ship in this scene? That'd be interesting. Because that would be interesting. Well, let's take a drop ship. I don't think they're actually on a drop ship in it, though. I think they're just on the bridge. On the bridge of the Requiem bot. Anyway, so, yeah. This isn't really a making of, because we're still rolling. Note, though, that there's a line about Grotesque, but that he isn't actually in the scene. He just turned to Grotesque for whatever reason. Grotesque did not talk, so... No, he's still talking to Rollbar and the other ones. So that's fine. Okay, and we're still rolling, and yeah. I'm going to pull, I guess, making of partly here. What's going on is, that was 65, and going on to the little, looks like a, what's it, Decepticon ship? Too hard on yourself. Back on the bot ship, allegedly a week had passed, but they can't go anywhere because their fold system's out. So how the hell did they do that? No, they couldn't have. They're still there. They're still at the station and they haven't taken it yet. So yeah, 66. Max's Carta, Air Flight, and Night Racer are talking. So they can be moved around slightly just to convey that a little bit of time has passed. The break in the action where the comms talked. Actually, there is no break in the action where the cons talked. They didn't do anything. So this literally could be the next scene, because the cons were doing other things. But yeah, we'll move some people around. Some time passed. A little bit. Jump cuts. I don't know why the air has to come on now. Did Sideways fall over? Son of a bitch. Come on. Yep. So there's a scene where we had filmed part of the con base and Terravec doing his thing with Skycrunch. That probably should be part of this and not that other scene. Although you can use that scene too. But that should be this. That should be these guys. But they should be elsewhere because they've gone to do guard duty at the base. So this little bazaar they're in is now going to be a different set. So we're going to change that. Okay. I think we filmed this little con base line, and it's when they're back at the base. So they, in order for this not to be a continuity error, yeah, he went back to report. So yes, so this is page 76. Note that what's going on around them is different, but it's in the script that Viacons transform, but they don't. These guys go on their own, or this guy goes with his Viacons. Just part of the other scene. For shits and giggles, that is the end of 79 during the battle. And since the Gestalt combining was cut out because it didn't make sense, he didn't do anything, it wasn't interesting, that was what I cut out. I mean, Viacons is in it once in this episode, and so I just rewrote it so they shot him before he could transform. Okay, and then there's a lot of about this is solar panels. I realize this story was written originally in 1998, but wow, they use solar energy. This is like 20 years ago, and they're the distant future, and they have robots and fusion and stuff. Why would a solar panel do anything? I would make up some gobbledygook that it isn't a solar panel, maybe? Because it kind of can't be. Yeah. I mean, it's funny, but it doesn't make sense. Okay, on this camera, the tape's running out. Note that the hearth scene, or scientist guy scene, is immediately after this. Yeah, so note that. So that's the other scene is immediately after that, or like minutes after that, after he left. Everybody's knocked out. So Sideways is not in the knocked out scene because he got knocked out. He's not dead, he's knocked out. Okay, so yeah. And we're on AC power. We're going to complete those 2 minutes that are still in here. And yeah, so. Okay, this scene is different in the script. They just basically slaughter the Decepticons and take the ship. Autobots wouldn't do that. I know they're like renegade Autobots, but they wouldn't do that. So what I'm going to do is use the dialogue, but they're not actually like attacking the ship. They're going to meet Blitzwing character. Now they don't know that he's the one behind everything because although he knows him, he met him briefly as a Decepticon in the Bay, and he probably knows he was a torturing bad guy asshole dude. But they don't know that he's a commander on the station or anything. So he probably really isn't. He's probably just there. So they're going to assume that he's one of the Decepticons that's there. Like, the early Guardian. And because he knows something about what's-his-face, he's not necessarily going to give up the ghost. But he's also not necessarily gonna fight them either. He might just decide that I'm not going to fight you, Autobots. Because he doesn't know whether they are actually the ones they're looking for either. He knows they're Autobots, but he doesn't know they're the ones that messed everything up because that city exploded as they were escaping. He doesn't know that. Just guessing. So yeah, he's not going to fight them, basically. He's out overmatched, so he's not going to fight them. So, action. Well, I'm going to pause it and then fully. I'm going to reshoot this. Oh, Jesus. Okay, the concern line. Is there something I can put this on this? No, that's not good. Greetings. I've just completed episode 2 of Corrosion of War Without End. At least in terms of the filming. It's in the can. So let's put it together in post. Yeah, it's episode 2. Corrosion of War Without. I don't know whether we're going to do 3 right away or not. But this is 2. And we were slated to do 1 and 2 back to back. So we did 1 and 2. Regardless of the stay-at-home in-house thing, but the Corona thing, we were still going to do part 2. Yeah, so it's in the can. So, cool. Yeah, that we finished. It's finished. It's not even, probably not even 10 yet. Anyway, so yeah, that's it.